They judge you by your cover. They say they're drug addicts. They have addictions. They're alcoholics.
We're all dirty. We've all been homeless our whole life. None of us care. We're all drug addicts.
That person deserves to be homeless. They're only there because they want to be.
That we're all dope fiends and alcoholics. That we're all here because we're junkies. Yeah, right.
My wife and I started this. It just kind of accidentally happened. We just felt like we should be doing something. Felt like we should be doing something that related to what we believed, the Bible. And some people call it a calling. A lot of people automatically are going to assume that if you're homeless, you did something to make that happen. And a lot of times it is their decisions that lead to this, but there's something behind those decisions. It's that deeper part. What happened to somebody? Some of the stories that you hear over the years just rip you apart, man.
You don't have to be a bum to end up homeless. Circumstances in your life just, things don't always work out. I flew out here on May 30th, Memorial Day. I hadn't seen my wife and her son in 20 years, and I stayed with them guys for about a month and a half, and then we went camping out for a week, and they left me at the campground.
I've always been poor, come from a shattered family, lived on the streets, and born crippled. I always wanted to have a family, a wife and a son of my own, and teach my son about God. Well, I didn't get the wife, but she was my girlfriend, and I got the son, and she was murdered in 20 years ago? And my son was sold without my permission. So I'm like, God helped me through quite a bit. Because during that time, after I found out my family, there was no coming back. No going back. I wanted to commit suicide. I got involved with crack cocaine and whiskey for about 3 months because I thought, in my life, I'll be with her. Sitting out in a field, open field, with a handful of crack cocaine and a bottle of whiskey, and I was going to blow my heart up with this stuff. And I heard God speak to me as clear as you talk to me. He asked me, what would you tell your son if I was to put him before you right now? And I looked at that crack cocaine and that whiskey, and I threw it down in the field, and I told myself, well, I'm never going to tell my son something like that. And I walked out of that field, I was clean. I thought, yeah, God showed me.
I ended up here from a 13-year painkiller alcohol addiction. I've had many careers throughout the 13 years. I was a union sheet metal worker, a United States Marine. I've fought forest fires. I was going to school at SEC in the Fire Science Academy, and all of them, I've lost every one of those opportunities to painkillers and alcohol. And it started with small things like hydrocodone and Vicodin, and then moved up to Oxycontin, and then eventually heroin.
Well, I only got to Spokane in late June, early July. I'm an economic refugee from Puget Sound. I can't afford an apartment there anymore. They want $800, I get $890. I got here August 8th, and they liked how I was doing chores and working and doing extra stuff, and so they made me a volunteer. You got vagrants that won't do anything for anybody but hold up a sign, give me money because I exist. But you got a lot of tramps, guys like me that'll go and work and do stuff. You know, during the spring, summer, and fall, I do my fortune telling down by the carousel.
Good morning, Truth Ministries. Wakey, wakey, happy, joy, fun, fun. Yes, it's me, the most obnoxious alarm clock in the world. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, Isaiah. Good morning, Mr. Peterson.
Being homeless has taught me to appreciate the things we take for granted. I mean, just to be able to stay warm and things like that is not something you normally, it's something you usually take for granted, you know, or water or whatever. And to think what basic needs those are.
I got really lucky. I got blessed because this shelter here, they're really strict. You got to pay depending on your wage. You got to pay a certain amount to stay here, and you violate the rules, you're out. Which is really good, because then the crowd that we get in here is a really good crowd.
This is basically our house, so let's treat it as such, okay? Do you have any questions or issues?
We provide a meal at night, beds, showers for some guys. We're limited on hot water, and a safe environment. This program is all about helping guys get on their feet.
Sometimes they don't even know where to start. Where do I start? What do I do with that? Well, what kind of services you do? Not much. All we do is challenge them and tell them, you got to do something. You're not going to sit around. This isn't moms, okay? You're not going to sit around and watch TV all day. You're going to do something with your life. I believe in you. You know, that's part of the services, to let them know that somebody does believe in them, and I'm not going to accept, you know, a lame excuse. If you're going to give me lame excuses and stay lazy and stay in the position that you're at, there's several other places you can go, but you're not going to stay here.
I've been clean from everything for 6 months. I go straight from here to the Spokane clinic, which is where we're proactive over there. We do groups. After that, usually I just come back here. If I don't have a job, I come back here and we do the extracurricular things around here, like whatever we need to do, maintenance on this place, and then whatever I can do as far as being proactive about changing my life. And I spend a lot of time praying, not enough. I read the Bible, but not enough. But mostly my day revolves around getting to know Jesus better, and with that being my first priority, my life's going to change.
I was standing at the shelter up there at the desk, and I thought, man, I want to write a book. And I told God, I want to do something for you. 3 days later, I sat down in front of a blank tablet with a pen, and that story was just there. And I mean, it took me 9 months, 8 hours a day to write this. And when I got done, I called Dorrance Publishing. And when I did send it to them and they saw what this book was about, they told me that no other author's ever done this. Not that I'm bragging, I'm just saying I'm proud of it, because now he's made me an author in his service.
I'm about to fly to Phoenix. I have 2 sisters down there, and we're about to receive our inheritance. Our dad died about a year ago. Back in Wisconsin, I was producing television shows for ministries, and just basic cables. I've done that for like 4 years.
Bearing the fruit of the Spirit, that Christ-like nature, and
I want to start a media production company, do documentaries. I did do a public service announcements once and things like that.
Favorite thing about working here is I get to help others. And it's kind of like a payback, like to Marty and Julie.
I have no choice but to be grateful for what I have, because I look at some of those guys walk through the door and it could be a lot worse.
some things are going to test you in life. They're going to make you want to give up. They're going to make you want to check out. But the one thing God showed me is this life is all about your faith and your prayer. If Satan's going to take you out of this world, he has to strip you of both those. If he can strip you of your faith and your prayer, you'll give up willingly.
What you reap is what you sow, you know. What goes around comes around. It always sounds cliche, but it's true, you know. If you're a blessing, you be blessed.
You know, what's the truth about myself? What do I really believe? Do I really believe the Bible? Do I believe all of it? You start questioning yourself. What is the truth about this thing? It's just life. What is the truth about life? Because everybody has their version of what they think the truth is. I believe what I believe, that's the truth. You're thinking, yeah, I believe what I believe, but I got the truth.
Because 2,000 years ago, Christ came to give us life. 2,000 years ago, he asked us to be his wife. To the rock of our salvation, to redeem every nation. All you have to do is say yes. It's about a 5-minute song, but my throat isn't up to it right now.